the world is changing in such a way that publishing is dying and that people don't want to buy magazines and things like that anymore. What gave you the nerve to think, I will make this work though, even in light of the world moving in a different direction? And what was the point? Why did you want to make it work? Why do you want to create this thing? Is it to create a culture? Is it to create an informative piece that you can leverage as a marketing platform? What was the sort of ethos behind it?
Yeah, it's changed from the start. It's really changed. I'll be honest with you. I think at the start, I knew I wanted to go down this path, and I'd been given this opportunity, and I was like, I have to take this opportunity. I'm not going to get one like this again. Like this is sort of my way in. So I just took it, and I'd like to say there was some grand plan at the start. I really don't think there was. It was just try and get it to a stable level. I think as I've grown as a person, Blue Bricks has grown, and as Blue Bricks has grown, I've grown as a person. And now what it's about is ethics, integrity, and sort of being a voice in the industry that showcases honesty and the right people that are doing the right things. Because landlords, developers, we get a bad rep in the news all the time. You know, it's always the evil property developer or the evil landlord. And I wanted Blue Bricks and the Blue Bricks Awards that we did to be a symbol of actually there's people in this industry that are doing really good stuff and really helping people. And then the community aspect came because I think we're in the information era. People value community now, being around people that can help them grow, that can, help them with the challenges. So we started doing the events. Most networking events are boring, unenjoyable. I thought, let's do something different. So that's why we did clay pigeon shooting days, we've done horse racing days. My theory is if people are laughing and having fun, they build actual relationships with each other as opposed to just throwing business cards at each other. And that's how the kind of community aspect came about. And I really feel that now, like when people go to my events, the feedback I get is I've never been to a place like this. Like I've never been somewhere so supportive with such a high caliber of people in the room. So it's all just sort of happened organically.
On the good and the bad there, I was just thinking about the what ifs, and how do you sort of vet the people you interview and bring into the magazine? Because obviously there's loads going around at the moment with certain personalities that want to be the biggest in the country, and then they are pyramid scheming things and ripping people off and taking money for earn and learn schemes and stuff. Like, how do you think that looks on the brand if you were to interview someone and then they turn out to be a bit of a rogue? And how do you sort of, weather against the storm against that, really?
It's a constant worry, to be honest, mate. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it and worry about it. It's become easier now because because the brand's really well known nationally, one of the most sort of well known publications in the UK for property investment. We're attracting a very high caliber of people, and the people that we're approaching and talking to have been in the industry sometimes 10, 20 years. They've got that positive track record. So that's the main thing to look for is a track record and the consistency. I stray away from influencers and people that are shouting and screaming online that don't have stuff to back it up. You sort of after a while build a bit of a bullshit detector that helps you detect it. Orange Lamborghinis are a big one. I'm joking. And so that helps. And then speaking to your network, speaking to people around you. If there's someone I don't know, haven't heard that certain off, I will ask around and go, do you know this person? Have they got a track record? Have they been in the industry long? Company's House tells you little bits of stuff, but not always a full story. Company's House is really hard for due diligence, especially in developments, because people have SPVs, which are set up and then dissolved all the time. So that's not always an indicator of good or bad. So I think it's just asking your network and watching people, watching what they're putting online, watching if they're consistent is a big one too.
And just on that, so with your magazine and with what's coming up, so obviously we do about 80 lofts a year, doing about £4.5 million, and obviously all the guys that I work with, I constantly worry about making sure they've got work to fall onto. So if they're not building, we're not earning. And I suppose running a magazine, the worry for me would be having not enough articles in the pipeline. And like you obviously want to be content, you want to be relevant to the moment. A bit like this podcast, we try and do it a week in advance. So we're not 2-3 weeks out. So how do you sort of manage the amount of content you need? Are you sort of building up a bit of a pipeline, that stuff you can publish in 3, 4, 5 months time that you bring forward if you need extra content? I find it fascinating how you would, have enough stories. I mean, there's endless stories to write about, but how do you use the content that's relevant today and still build a bit of a pipeline of content for the future?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I've got an abundance of content at the moment. Like we've got so much content for the rest of the year. People approach you all the time now because they know the brand and go, we want to be published, we want to be featured. So it's probably the issue now is too much content and knowing what to publish. In terms of the relevance, a lot of the stuff that we talk about is evergreen. We have some stuff, you might know Adam Lawrence, he's popular, he does like a market update in every issue, and that talks about the next 6 months to a year. So that's quite fresh. It's not like here's what the market's doing next week. But a lot of the content's evergreens. It's people's stories, people advice for success, case studies of projects that they've done, stuff on dealing with tax as a property investor and structuring your portfolio correctly. It's all stuff that can be applied long term because you are right, Stuart, and that is something that I think about all the time. It's really hard in publishing to have your finger on the pulse because you might have a print error that will take you back by a week or two. And if you've got something hot in the market, like we've just talked about the Elon Musk, Donald Trump stuff, it's already old news by then. So that is a bit of a difficulty.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you go and subscribe to the Ground Up Podcast.